Hi everybody. If you follow my Instagram or have been watching my videos and things I put out, you'll know that something I'm often saying is that if you want to see improvements in your own life, in your own neighborhood, in your own community, the best way to do that is to go out and do it yourself. So this video here is a great example of how that can come about. I had a chance to go down to Tucson with my cousin, her husband, and my little nephew John to tour the Dunbar Springs neighborhood. And this is a neighborhood where about 20 years ago, 15-20 years ago, a couple brothers moved in, started doing permaculture, and they've completely transformed that neighborhood just from talking to their neighbors, getting involved, and making a difference in their own community. So check it out. It's a really special place. The video's a little bit shaky. Sorry about that. Just getting used to doing videos with a little 8-year-old tagging along, asking me questions. So I hope you enjoy it. I sure did enjoy walking around his neighborhood. It's really something special. So check it out. Hi. So we've taken a trip down here with my cousin and her son John and her husband. And we're down here in Tucson at the Dunbar Springs neighborhood. This is a neighborhood where about 15 years ago Brad Lancaster and his brother bought a home and started doing permaculture techniques, harvesting rainwater and planting desert plants and food plants. And it's a great example of how one or two people can create a community around them. This whole neighborhood, they've helped transform it and plant tons of trees and influence their neighbors to teach them how they can be growing food in the desert too. So let's take a look around. So this is mostly what they've done here is they dig these infiltration basins here a little bit lower than the street, and then they've cut the curbs from the street. So they're collecting all that water off the street and sinking it into these, and that waters all these trees around here.
But I'd be thoughtful, like, if this...
Yeah, that's good. So they planted a ton of these mesquite trees here too, and they actually collect them as a neighborhood, and they grind up all the pods and sell the flour online. It's like $20 a pound.
Neighborhood did agree on this.
They just started doing it, and then their neighbors asked questions. So they got fruit trees planted here, citrus right here on the street. So people just see
one person did it, and then the neighbors asked, "What are you doing?"
Exactly, and they teach them and say, "Hey, this is a cool idea. Let's keep doing this." You know? They've planted like over 250 trees here in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it's a lot cooler.
But
in here, and you see this right here, this hole. They just dug this one. They haven't planted anything around it.
ooh, can you turn the screen? Like.
Yeah, well, you can see what I'm filming here.
Oh.
Look, it's right there. But you can see they just dug this pit here, and they haven't cut the curb yet. So I was looking on their website, that website for this neighborhood kind of community thing, and
But they're going to cut the thing.
yeah, they're having a day where they're going to come out with the tools and they're going to cut the curbs for people who want to cut the curbs.
I still can't believe.
It helps them. They have a lot more trees in the neighborhood now.
Hey, maybe me and Grandma can get that thing started, you know?
Maybe.
But is it hard to get it started?
No, it just takes a little work over time.
Why are the mesquite seeds worth so much money?
They're a superfood. So like they're really super nutritious for you. A lot of people buy them for.
Whoa! Look at this place.
This is a good place. Hi. Yeah, see, they've got a lot of edible stuff planted here. You know, some people, it makes it a lot easier to grow plants when there's water.
So this place doesn't have like an ATC or something?
ATC?
Or what are they?
Oh, HOA? Well, they do, but the HOA is deciding to plant trees instead of, making people have lawns and stuff. They say, okay, we're going to help you cut the curbs and help you get trees to plant and give you advice to make it look this way.
HOA did that.
So just
Yeah.
cutting it too, they lowered how hot it gets?
They what?
They lowered how hot it gets?
Yeah, because if you're under a tree, if there's lots more trees around, that puts water into the atmosphere, which cools it down.
So there are not many trees here. It would be hot.
So here's like a bigger one here that they've made.
What's this?
That's a little parking stop. Yeah, see, these are younger trees that they've planted. These might have even been planted from seeds from this tree here. But so they started, just cutting the curbs here, and they would do it like on Sunday morning, so the city wouldn't see them. And the city was getting mad at them for doing it. But now, after working with the city for many years, it's code in Tucson now that if you build new construction, you have to do it this way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
that
why
way,
is the city getting mad at them?
because the city owns the curbs.
What?
The city owns the curb, and they were cutting into the curb. Yeah, just has a wood chip mulch under it.
Yeah.
So you get these for free.
Oh, wow.
And see how it turns into really nice soil real quickly?
Doesn't that seem like nice for kids to play on, like soft? And
Yeah,
Hey, maybe you can do that to our garden.
that's what I'm gonna do.
Yes.
But see, having this pit right here collecting the water off the street, that's gonna water this tree here because its roots are gonna come down into this
Hey,
and
Mom.
get the water that soaks
Hey,
in.
Mom, you got the best planter in the business. You got the best
And then
one in
having
the
that
business in our family.
having that wood chip mulch under there helps hold that water in the soil too.
Whoa, what in the heck is that?
That's I think it's acatillo.
looks very pointy.
Yeah, it's good for making a fence because nobody's gonna want to come over it.
Oh, and you can actually touch it.
Yeah, you can touch it when I hurt a little bit.
This part of it did anything.
Yeah, this is like an older neighborhood, and it used to be kind of like crime-ridden, but
Yeah,
since
I
they've been
don't
working
think
on
they did
improving it,
much
it's
on
gotten a lot
this
better.
side. Look, it doesn't look really good on this side. No? But they do have a lot of shade.
Yeah, they have a ton of shade. Think about in the middle of the summertime, like you go outside and you're not in the shade, it's super hot. But they've put so much shade around that they've
They
actually
can walk.
cooling it off.
They can put a chair here and just sit on it and no sun in your eyes.
And you see here, they've got this pit on this side here, which is probably an older one because it's really full now. But they've taken that dirt and they've mounted it up on the path here. So the path is a little bit higher, but you don't really notice the big holes because they've moved the dirt around.
Hey Jesse,
Huh?
are you gonna put any pokey stuff in our backyard?
No, I can do it without putting pokey stuff.
Thank
But you see this house here? See on the corner there with the gutter? They've got that little screen that keeps the
What's the
any-
gutter? What's the gutter?
You see it there? The rain gutter?
On the roof.
So that
Yeah,
water
but
goes through that little
Oh
screen.
yeah, that?
Yeah.
I mean that thing that has good
The pipes, yeah.
Yes, let 'em
Yeah, I
finish.
see.
Yeah.
So the pipes, they come underground here and they fill up this. This is a water tank. And so it fills that tank up and then they can use that right here. They're using that to water the plants inside. So they save the water
That's a
when it rains.
smart idea.
It is.
Is that legal? Or some places they frown
Some
on that.
places they do, but
Arizona's not one.
they used to frown on the curb cut thing too. Now it's law. So it's part of it is like citizens doing what they know is right for their community, and then regulators,
Well,
come later.
this is good for
No,
the
it's the city. The
neighborhood.
city considers it stealing water.
Spikes.
Mom, if we're gonna move into a house, can we move into a house here in this neighborhood?
We can just make your house like this neighborhood.
Yeah, we'll just do that.
So this right here is kind of what it looked like before they started doing the work, minus the trees. So it's just flat and gravel in the public right away.
So how long ago did they start this? Because these trees look pretty grown.
About 15 years, I think, is when Brad and his brother moved in. Yeah, this is like the original street here.
Hey,
So
it
that's
has
why
a
all the trees are
sidewalk.
way bigger.
It has
have
a
a sidewalk.
sidewalk. Wait, did they add the sidewalk?
No, the sidewalk was here, but they just planted everything in between the street and the sidewalk, as well as their yards.
So 15 years ago, it was a total wreck.
You could say that.
16 years ago, it was a bigger wreck.
It was just hot, just, a lot of bare ground and a lot of sun, not so much shade.
Was that pine tree there 15 years ago?
A pine tree.
That pine tree.
The palm tree?
Yeah.
Possibly. It looks like a pretty old palm tree, so I imagine so.
Mine hasn't even grown a couple feet yet.
Yeah, it takes some time.
How much time? That's been growing for like 2 years now.
Oh, trees move very slowly, so it could take 10 years before it gets any height on it.
10 years?
Yeah. But trees also live to be like 300, 400, 500 years old. Yeah. So these guys, that big pot back there is a rain tank as well, and then you can see the hose coming out from underneath it.
Whoa,
They're using
that's a
that
big
to water
rain tank.
their yard.
How does it get filled?
See the roof has the corner right there. It just drips into it from there. So that's the easiest way. You just put a tank underneath where it drips
Yeah.
and fill it up. If you can't have gutters, but gutters make it a lot easier.
But that still makes it pretty easy.
It's true.
Water, you know?
So we've got some fruit trees here. That's an avocado tree, and they got a lemon tree in the back. They got peppers right there, growing as well.
That's nice.
Yeah. Oh, look, these guys got chickens. See the chicken, John?
No.
Right there.
Yeah, I see him. Bok, 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 bok.
Here? He's talking back to you.
Bok, 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 bok. Bok, bok,
Hey, chicken, chicken, chicken.
bok, bok.
John, just keep your fingers to yourself.
I know.
So this is Brad Lancaster's company right here, Rainwater Harvesting, Drylands and Beyond. That's his book. So you see what's going on over here? You see they've got see the pipes right there?
Wait, is those plastic?
So yeah, see those PVC pipes? So they're just dropping that water down from maybe their tank, or maybe it's gray water from their house, and they're just directing that to their trees.
Promise.
I'm guessing that's gray water, because that way you just pipe it right out to the plants when they need it, and they get it watered every day. Yeah, you learn about animals. You might not be able to speak to them, but you can watch their body language and their sounds, and you might be able to understand a bit about what they want. Yeah.
So, do you know how to talk to animals?
So this is Brad's house. These are those are 2 tanks he collects water off of his roof there.
Wait, are you doing a video?
Yeah. You got a question now? Oh, here we go. So this is what it looked like before. 1994 is when they started this.
Oh, wow.
So these are the original basins and original curb cuts that happened here. And then we could do just having the wood chips on the ground right here is really helpful too, just for keeping moisture in the ground as well.
I know how to speak chicken, and I kind of knew what that chicken was kind of saying.
That's good.
Can't really explain it. It was feelings like
Uh-huh.
it's all about the movement. You know,
Yeah, totally.
like I knew that she was kind of like checking me out if I was friend or foe. You know, because she was looking her head sideways and stuff.
See what they got going over here, John? See that right there? That's a solar hot water heater. And they got a solar cooker.
Whoa, would you look at that? They made the gate out
Doing
of
a bunch of
sticks.
stuff with
They
the
love
sun.
it so much, they made the gate out of sticks. Wow.
Yeah, they're using materials that they grew right in their home to build things at their house. That way they don't have to go to the store and buy something, you know? And see that in the back there? That's a really large rain tank. So that's collecting rain off of this big roof over here where the solar panels are. A lot of the people here do, because when you're in the desert, anywhere really, it's really important to collect as much water as you can.
Is that the solar water heater right there?
That's a solar cooker. This is a solar water heater. So see the tank inside there? It's just a tank full of water, and then the sun just heats it up.
I don't see anything.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
In the triangle.
And then a lot of the stuff back here is edible as well. You guys see all the birds that are just hanging out here because of all the trees?
No.
You don't see them? There's birds
Well, I
right
see
there.
birds hopping to tree to tree.
Yep. Well, it's because we scared them, but they created a good environment, and then the birds want to hang out here.
Go
A ton of birds in our neighborhood.
So this is another house that's just starting to
Wait, John.
install their basins. The curbs haven't been cut yet, but imagining they will be soon. And then they'll be harvesting their own rainwater. So this house, they didn't bother with a rain tank. They just took their gutter and they directed it right over the wall into their basin right here to water these trees. So they're just storing their rainwater right in the ground, which means that they only get it when it rains, but they didn't have to buy a tank. So here's another house that's dug out their basins and hasn't been cut yet. Seems like there's a lot of people starting to do this in the neighborhood. So this is the community garden here. Looks like they're like gardening in basins, you see? Instead of having raised beds in the desert, you want to garden under, lower, because that's where the water's going to collect. So looks like they're putting in new beds and everything here. Got some winter stuff going, a playground in the background. So these guys just got a load of wood chips. And he's going to spread around. So I want to show you in here, inside these basins, if you dig into the soil, you can tell this is like turning into really good, rich soil because of all the organic matter that's been left in here and combined with the water. So it's a lot different from what's out here. This is just, hard dirt. So the water comes off there into here, combines with all these sticks and wood chips and everything that's put in here.
Ooh,
and that breaks down into really nice soil.
I want to see this.
So here's a community bulletin board. People can make announcements for each other. A little free library and trade books. So here's another before and after picture of that corner. So it looks like when it's raining, it's filling all those basins up.
Yeah, it's kind of wet.
So that was a little tour of the neighborhood. We had a good time just walking around and checking out everybody's yards. It's a lovely place to walk around. There's trees and plants and birds, and you can tell that people put a lot of care into their community here. It's a great example of what can be done just by people doing it themselves. If you want to know more about Brad Lancaster, what he did here, there's plenty of good videos on YouTube about that. So go check those out.